works for me. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner, your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl.
So this is clear manipulation, but again, why would he record himself? Welcome again to another episode of the Washington SXM podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell to get notified whenever I drop a video. So let's get into tonight's video before we start the discussion.
Trafficking, we have three things: force, fraud, or coercion. Force, obviously, that's like being in chains and, not being allowed to leave. Fraud, being kept there under false pretenses. If there's an element of fraud in the way that you are enticing somebody or keeping somebody in a particular position to work for you, and if it's in the sex business, that's sex trafficking or coercion. Let's kind of look at one of his.
So they are charging him with coercion, sex trafficking, fraud, and rape, I think. But just from what I know about him and what I've seen, I don't think he's a rapist. I'm not saying he's not, but I highly doubt he's a rapist. But because they tend to use rape as a to demonize a man, whoever that man is how they always start out, as you being a rapist or sexually abusive or abuser. But anyway, I don't know if he do it or not, but no, well, I don't think he's a rapist. But the fraud thing, as again, I have to watch the evidence that they said leaked to see if it's factual or not, and coercion and sex trafficking. So let's get into it. Cause they said they have some video they leak of him.
That he did. These are his words, not my words.
When you say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest. But in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you. Your goal is to inspire a girl to make money. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence, and you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you. And this is extremely important, because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive.
Fallacy, that's his word. And what is fallacy? Fraud.
I knew some street pimps. I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is a completely, in fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same.
So you hear what he said there? He's been around pimps and no pimps, so he think he's a pimp himself. So that might be the reason why he's doing what he's doing with the whole web. And again, that's why I always tell men, why do men send money to women in OnlyFans or webchat or web phone call? Because half the time you're talking, it's not a woman you're talking to, is a team, is men, is actual men texting you back and replying to you and sending the photos, not an actual woman. So that's why I don't get how men send money blindly to women online, and I don't get it. But I think he figured himself to be a pimp, maybe like a modern pimp, like the old school one. But that's not really, you can't, I don't see being a pimp as being a sex trafficking. But again, there might be other information, so let's get into it before I give my full total comment.
She can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you. At the beginning she can, but there'll become a point she can't. But you being here, it synergizes this teamwork energy. We're gonna do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera, don't worry, I'll talk to the guys, I'm gonna talk to them, we're a team, happy, positive teamwork. There's no negative energy in this business. You have to be positive. So by you typing for the girl, you maximize your money, and also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important. Another reason to use Chatterbait is because they will pay you in Bitcoin.
But they also know that's where manipulation comes in, because that's manipulating. So that's not, manipulating is not illegal, but it's highly unethical. It's morally, it's not good to manipulate another person. It's vice versa, because women do it to men, to rich men to get the money, and men do it to younger girls. But I don't agree with the manipulation part, but let's continue.
And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult.
See, it's that whole avoiding taxes. And it's not legal to do that.
So in the last 6 months, Chatterbait.
So if you try to defraud the government when it comes to taxes, they will get you in the long run. I think this video I'm seeing here, this is something maybe this was before he blew up, before he becomes this global Andrew Tate. I think this was when he was doing his courses, online courses. But I think this was not an issue because he didn't have the kind of influence yet. So I think that where this issue becomes an issue now because he's so influential and he's so global now. This gonna look bad, but before he blew up, the government, I'm pretty sure, knew about this, and they have to know about this before. Because people tend to know about things, but again, he was rich and they tried to defraud the government. No government like to be defrauded. They want their tax, especially if they're a multi-millionaire.
Have released the Bitcoin options. They'll pay you in Bitcoin. Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. Tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them 3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%.
But that's illegal. No, that's illegal. That's fraud because you're defrauding a worker and you're defrauding the government. So that they can catch him on that. They could catch him on fraud, tax evasion. So that's one count. They can surely get him on. I mean, he's gonna get some jail time for that if that's true. If they can prove it, because you have to prove whatever you say about someone and come on to fraud and tax evasion. If you can prove it.
And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, we get to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50, the difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies.
And one more thing, all rich people defraud the government and tax evade. Every single one of those millionaires, from millionaires to billionaires, Donald Trump do it, Elon Musk do it, every single one of them. Because if you can remember, there was a video, a debate when Trump was debating Hillary Clinton. I remember what she said. He don't pay tax. He doesn't pay tax. He's hiding his money. But remember what Trump said to her in return? Your friends do the same thing and you do the same thing I'm doing. You take advantage of the tax code. So they all do it. Just that, Andrew Tate record himself saying it when doing it. So that's where he went from, because now he's on record stating he's defrauding the government. So again, talking too much can get into trouble. Like in his case, he chat too much because maybe he thinks he's untouchable because he's rich and because he's in Romania. That's why he may be doing this. He wouldn't do this in the West, I'm pretty sure.
If they don't believe you or they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I do this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here and sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Ooh, okay. And they just sign away. They don't know what they're fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real is happening. Nothing's happening besides me get rich page. Something real is happening. Nothing's happening besides me get rich page. You have to girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female. And I'll tell you why. Women have sex with somebody. If they're not fucking you, they're fucking somebody else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have the control over her mind as opposed to you. And if he controls her mind and you don't control her mind, once she starts to pick it up a bit after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, or she's going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them two are going to go traveling in Southeast Asia and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck it, you type for me. Oh yeah, but you're always working. I have to do some traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Traveling is a great one because the thing about this business is mobile. If you can find a good Airbnb with good internet, you can run it somewhere else. So it's a good little caveat to throw in. You're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? Work for you doing what? Say, I'll have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen. Come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl.
So this is clear manipulation, but again, why would he record himself saying these things and then put it on the internet, which is gonna be forever? Because this can be used in the court case against him. So or maybe he think, I think that this was a course he was giving, but again, if it's a course and he's saying these things, they have to prove that he was doing it, because he could be just saying these things to look macho, but actually not doing it. So again, we have to watch and see during the court case if he actually did all these things he said he's doing.
And this is why you're bought just to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Remember Ghislaine Maxwell? That was the girl that recruited for Jeffrey Epstein. Almost identical to what
The girl that they're talking about is that girl. Look at that girl. Look how pretty she is. It's impossible. That's a picture of her. That's a picture of her again. And that's her when they said she was arrested, and that's her in a handcuff. But this is the video here. They say they have as evidence on him. So let's listen to this and then hear what he's saying before I comment.
Romanian court, oh no, not a court in Romania. They're corruption free, as we all know. Put me in jail. I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Boom, boom, get some hose. This cell's mine. I'm ready. Put me in jail. I don't give a fuck. You think they're court case? Shove it up your mouth.
Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I have committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away?
Also, when you're a real G, is that you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You gotta go to Poland, you gotta go to Warsaw, fucking Dubai, Miami. Anyone who watches State Confidential knows I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
But here's even the kicker. Looking at private videos that are part of the police file, from the following passages from the context of this content, there is no doubt a deep lack of respect for the legal norms and a total indifference to the social protected values that the defendant gives proof of. Also, the attitude of disregard towards women in general, which he perceives only as a mean of getting his content released. In other words, making money. The judge cannot agree with the support of the defense in the sense that the video contents presents only one character and cannot be taken into account since the defendant exhibits the same attitude in the relations with the injured persons and is evident from the content of the conversations that are in these criminal prosecutions.
Okay, so the way that end. Here's the thing. I've heard him on social media bragging that the reason why he left the West, why he leave, I think he's English, he have an English citizenship, and the reason why he went to Romania because Romania is corrupt and you can pay off anybody to get out of any jam. And in the West, which is like England, in the States, it's more difficult, they can't do that so easy. But again, why record yourself saying these things? How can he have that? Well, he have that macho, top G mentality, but he's not the only one that has it, but he's the one that's vocal about it. And if I'm a Romanian officer, judge, or a politician that takes pays off, you going on the internet and making this known worldwide and bragging about it and bragging how you can just tell me how much money that costs, how much it's gonna cost me to get rid of it. Because he said he committed felonies. So if he says, tell me how much it's gonna cost me to get rid of this felony, and then they give him a price and he pay it off, why would you now take that information you have, go and make it public globally? Because like I said, he's a global sensation. He's one of the most Googled person on planet right now. So you make that be known worldwide that the Romanian system is corrupt, which they are, but you go and saying these things, no, you're in trouble. They hold you. I think this is why they targeted him. This is one of the reasons why he's a target. It's because of how he's putting Romanian business out there. So me now as an officer or a judge, with this now, I'm not gonna let you out. I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to put in the prison, because I have to prove to the world we're not corrupt and we don't take payoff, which they do, but they have to make an example of him now. So that's why the judge deny his bail and to keep him mum while they smear him globally, because he's a global person, because he have person who loves money and people who hate him. People who don't like him gonna be overjoyed, but don't be too overjoyed too much, because this could be just testing the waters they could be doing. They could have something major holding on to, but again, this is just they could not have anything and just using this as a red herring to punish him in the public opinion before then taken to court. So for all who doesn't like him, be tread carefully, and for those who like him, again, also tread carefully, because you have to watch what to say, because again, we don't know the full facts. This is just a snippet the prosecutor office leak to the public, which don't normally happen. And don't forget, fraud and tax evasion is what they're really after him for. They want car. Here they seize like 15 of his cars, all his homes, and most likely they're gonna freeze his assets, because if they can bring up the trafficking case and hold him on that, then they have all the right to seize. Also, you can lose millions and not millions of dollars, and then the government will be happy, and then they break him. But if on the flip side of this, if he beat this case, he's gonna be basically untouchable, which it can happen. So people, it's not what he says online, it's not what he says in the news, is what the court can prove. Even though they are corrupt, they have to still bring forth evidence and prove that he is doing what he said he was doing. Because even though he said it online, that doesn't make him guilty or doing what he's actually saying. A lot of people lie for fame all the time. So they will say one thing online, they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing that, but they're not actually doing it in real life. So he seems like he's a smart guy. So I highly doubt he wouldn't have paper trail to prove where he get his money, and that he paid his taxes. But the thing with the girls, keeping them locked up in the house, that's problematic. Sex trafficking, I'm iffy on that, because I'm iffy on that, because even though he fly girls out, they knew what they were getting into, because they knew who he is, they knew what he was about, and the girl that recruit them, nobody's that dumb to not know that, okay, he's pimping me out, and this is an accident. But again, these women they're young and they want quick money, fast money, so they will do these things, collect all this money over a couple of months, and then not become rich, because but they do make a serious amount of money, because the money they make in, let's say, a year time, or let's say, the money that they make in a year time could be my salary for the next 10 years or next 20 years. And that's what they can make in a year. And and don't forget, his house that they're doing this business from is not like it's a bunk, or it's a mansion, or it's a big compound, so it's very comfortable. So they can prove he was holding them, he's holding them unwillingly, and he's physically assaulting them, because there's some texts that's leak as well, some WhatsApp messages when he talking to these girls, promising them marriage if they come by him and work for him. Then he flip it and then made them do this business. But again, they knew, after he explained everything to them and tell them what it is, what's what, they knew they can either make a choice to stay or walk away. Most of them stayed because of the high pay of cash, right? So it's all murky. I'm gonna wait until I get more information before I can cast a judgment, because I don't make judgments half-ass. You have to make sure you know what you're saying. So before I demonize him or say he's innocent, I need more information. But one thing for sure, he is on tape saying he defraud the government, he evade tax, he thief money from his employees. So that's fraud, tax evasion, but rape, no, he's not a rapist. I can go on the limb and say he's not a rapist. I don't care what no one says. Globally, he's not a rapist, but they're saying this to demonize him. But he do some problematic things. So let's wait and get some information, and then we'll see how this goes. I don't know, it's the Washington Executive Podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't hurt. Boom, you don't know. Like is free, so click the like button. It helps the algorithm for the videos to push. You don't know what it is. Peace, love, boom.